Welcome back to What the Flag. We have the whole crew back together. Make sure you stay tuned because we also have some fun TikToks. We've got a whole bunch of reels that are coming out because there's only one of us out of the 5 of us that were on time. So let's get right back into this.
Not a dig at all.
Not a dig at all. It was totally fine. It is so hot in London today and across the UK. I think all of us just sweated ourselves out. So I was really grateful that I was able to sit for a while and just cool down.
Need some aircon.
I needed some aircon. But Ken, we just got back from Copenhagen Bowl. Well done, sir. Fantastic work.
Congratulations on the win.
I wasn't asking you to so you can say congrats on the win. We're 1-1. You beat us, we beat you.
Yeah.
Feels like a dig though, doesn't it?
I mean, I have to say, your girls were great because you had 6 pretty much playing the entire tournament.
We went with 7. Yeah, we went with 7. Lost 1 after game 1 on the first day. Played with 6. So shout out, ladies. Well done, soldiers, everyone, to play. I think they played the remaining 7 games. Just 6 of them. 5 of them going both ways because Monica's not allowed to do anything.
No. She stays on out.
QB and that's it. But yeah, they showed a lot. We learned a lot. Some good, some bad. It was good. It was a good fun tournament. The weather stayed. That thing I was most worried about. The weather stayed, pleasant, which is a key thing. But good fun tournament all round. As I got to play you guys twice, and yeah, lots of learning.
Do you think in terms of you learning, because you had so many players that had to play like both ways, do you think a lot of the learning maybe going forward, looking at players potentially playing both ways or changing positions, or do you think it maybe changes your approach to your next?
No, I'm a firm believer in I think you have to have your best athletes on the field, right? And I know that that's an opinion that's shared by the GB women's head coach Jack Reed as well. So. Would I have chosen to take only 6 and make them play both ways? Probably not, because there's also, as we run up towards the big one in August in Germany, there's an element of that where we're now, you kind of want to cotton wool, wrap the players in cotton wool and know, like, guys, take it easy. Because yes, there were 1 or 2 injuries this weekend, which is like, oh man, you hope they're not really, really bad ones because it's so close to the event. But it does, as I said, some of those girls, like the engines on them to keep going and keep running.
It's impressive.
There wasn't much of a fall off in performance as they went through. So, no, super proud. It was a lot of fun. I didn't think it was going to be as much fun as it was, but I really enjoyed it and, played the game within the game, which is good fun.
We had 9 girls playing, and a quarterback that only plays one way. And I think that's part of it is you're trying to see the different environments and stresses that you can put your team under. It was the first time we had David, our S&C coach, come out with us. I call him S&C. That's not really a fair title for him. He does so much more than that. But to kind of start to prepare for what it's like in between tournaments, after tournaments. Copenhagen's such a nice city. It is beautiful there. I haven't been there. I hadn't been to Copenhagen Bowl in years. And to see the growth of it, to have so many teams there was phenomenal. And some great competition, right? We had 4 groups for the women's.
Yeah, 4 groups. I think a total of 22 teams, which is really, really incredible, And it's always the same. You see we say it all the time, all the different ones. Flag is developing, all over. And there was a team that came out and represented from Malaysia. Was the central. This whole T-shirt, there's a whole story that comes with it when you buy it, which is adding value, smart. But there were teams from there. The Quetzals always kind of represent a Mexican element to it, although they had players from Turkey and Canada, a mishmash of players. So it's always good to see everyone. And finally, I have to shout out Jed, my guy from Manila in the Philippines, who we've been trying to link up for literally years, maybe over a year at least.
He's in London.
Nice.
And
busy, Kenny.
But finally got to meet him in person at Copenhagen, which was cool because we've had many conversations trying to like just talk about flag and how it's growing in Asia and stuff.
He
like
was
that.
the guy who posted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was so lovely.
Super nice dude.
Yeah, so lovely. And he's like, I'm the first like true Filipino to be out here, and he's such a big fan of the show. He listens to us all the time. So thank you, Jed. It was so good to like meet you in
Shout out,
person.
Jed.
Yeah, exactly. And it was cool because they had the Croydon Rangers who made it to the finals, which is kind of just like a team of ballers. We'll have to get the clip of that one catch in the end zone. Like, this dude went up for it, and I felt like he was up there for like a year. And then, but so casual, like
He catches it, touches both feet on the front, and then just puts the ball down.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
just
cool.
does it, just does it.
Yeah.
But it was a bit because I was like Croydon Rangers. I saw it and I was like, is it the Warriors put a flag team together on a weekend where they had a big game? But Croydon from the States, so it was an American outfit. But it was cool. We also have there was a team out there called Prime, that were kind of service women from
Germany, I
I believe
think?
Germany. So they all just got together to put teams together, and it's easy for them to travel around Europe. So it's fun to see everyone. That's always the biggest thing. Like there's so many people. They had 19 fields, I want to say.
Yeah,
Insane.
A flag like going constantly all day long, different formats, different levels of the different formats.
The important question that obviously everyone wants to know: how are the general facilities at this 19?
I'm glad you brought this up. I don't want your opinion. You're a boy. You're a boy. That would be one of my feedback. There was one toilet near us, kind of near us. There was another toilet that was like in a stadium, but they kept locking all the doors, so you had to keep going further and further down.
Oh.
And that was only one toilet in there. And then everyone was just peeing in the bushes, if I'm being honest with you. And for me, that's just not not my vibe. So I feel like some porta potties would have been nice to have along the fields.
Just button up, innit? You go in the morning before you get there, and then you save everything.
That's how you
till
know
you're
he's not an
done.
athlete. He's not hydrating.
Kenny.
He's not hydrating.
Listen, if
There's
I
a lot
work-
of things
if I
Kenny
work
does do.
through
Kenny
the
does to hydrate. Kenny does to watch film. Kenny does to stretch. And do you want to?
I'm
Kenny played
I
4
made it-
reps.
I
Kenny
made it.
played 4 reps this weekend.
2 touchdowns. Like, listen, I do this. One of them was a one-handed reception. Threw the other one about 30 yards back
Makes
at the
up for
end
a
zone.
couple, yeah.
Listen, videos. If anyone wants the videos, let me know. We can post that too.
Oh
like,
no, what a shame.
it's-
No
it's-
videos,
it's-
no footage.
it's-
Oh,
Evie
no
got,
proof.
Evie got a one-handed catch as well, though, and
But
I
she's
was
got
that
the, like, is that the most amazing picture where she's like up in the air?
No, it was so random. One of the kids, their parents were filming them playing and got the video. It was totally unwarranted. Like I was not thinking.
So well, wow, look at
But it was really cute because I caught it and I could hear Kenny and I could hear Olga yelling because it doesn't happen. Like, and it was left-handed and it was like it's just out of my comfort zone to catch a ball like that. I've done it once before. So,
Kenny says I do this.
but
Are
there
you
was a
sure?
video
She does
and I
this.
threw a touchdown that you could probably hear
we
across
saw that.
the
We saw that,
entire
yeah.
field because I like wound up and it just hit Kate in the chest and it was like, boom. I was like, I gotta get to her, and she caught it. She was a legend. So shout out Kate Bruneville's on the catch there.
Look at this.
But
Seems like
I felt,
Phoebe does this. Kenny, Phoebe does this.
I didn't know if he was talking about him or me when he was like, listing all the things he does.
I do this. I don't know. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not trying to share it. Yeah, no. It was a good.
It's
It was a
true.
good
Kenny
weekend.
does
though,
do
man.
this. I
It was a
couldn't
good
catch
weekend,
until I
though.
met Kenny. So that's me being nice to you.
Jochebed, you as well. I was going to say that.
Jock shouts you out all the time to me,
making sure.
saying
We
Uncle
think-
Kenny helps her all the
When
time.
she gets on the podcast, she needs to just give the
What?
flowers.
It's just-
I'll make sure I deliberately don't ask questions about you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about everyone but Kenny.
Yeah. Kenny would be so upset. So upset.
People are asking about bragging rights between like kind of like the Spain and GB element, and it's just for me not just because we lost the final, although easy to say, but it's so hard to. I don't think either of those teams were truly representative of what both those teams will be or could be at an actual Euros or a World Championship.
Ooh.
So it was weird. I didn't feel. And it's a bit of a cop-out. It is a bit of a cop-out. But I didn't feel... I was like, this game on the Sunday was a bit a win-win for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we beat GB the second... So we beat... Okay, no. One step back. The most random thing. I said there were 22 women's teams. So 4 groups, 2 of 6 and 2 of 5. you might have to do some animation to this so people can see it as they
Pew,
as
pew,
they
pew,
go
pew, pew,
through.
pew, pew.
So it's normally top 2 go through to the quarterfinals, right? And you have 8 teams, and you kind of go whatever. We won all the games in our group, but there were only 5 in our group, so we played 4 games, 4-0. GB were in the other group of 5, won 4 games. They were 4-0. And then the most random thing I have ever seen, they made us play a 5th game on
Friday.
the Saturday afternoon,
Saturday.
like the Saturday evening, where it was the 1 seed, us, versus the 1 seed in their group.
For seeding purposes, yeah.
Which is basically, that game would never normally happen until at least a semi-final.
Yeah.
Because of the way the seedings work. So it's just like, why are we being made to play a game against the top team? Clearly, because they won all the games in their group the day before, So
maybe it's a logistical thing because the number was 22. Had it been 24, maybe it would.
Well,
have
but you would have played the 2 seed then normally, wouldn't you? You would look like,
it's
hey, I'll play the 2 seed in yours.
Versus one rather than one.
1, 2,
But what
1,
they
2.
needed was, because those 8 teams go through, they needed it for the seedings, right? Because if it goes on points, technically we would both have played 1 less game than the other 2 number 1 seeds. But I was like, yeah, but surely you don't make us play the best team, because how is that reflective of the rest of the tour? So
you should meet them further along the competition.
But that's why we ended up playing them then as the 5th game on day
Saturday,
1. Which is like, you've played 4 games, whatever. But so I said that's the game we won, and it was interesting because I think we're moving into an era of flag where that game, in my opinion, was decided by like one penalty, one on their team. That Jack Reed did not like at all.
No.
What was penalty?
It was they called
right of place
basically
on the defense.
So
our center was running a whip. Or no, she wasn't our center. She moved basically into a bunch formation. So I played center. She was right next to me. And she ran a whip. And when she got to the end...
whip is up, out, and then back across. Right? Just for... No, not for you. For people that may not know what a whip is. Right? But you're also O-line, so because it was fair game. You might have known.
I actually was the tight end for the half season.
Facts. Tell the people.
Like that, exactly. Out and back across.
Rapid like that too.
Yeah. So you were saying, I was just explaining what a whip was, sorry.
No, and so then when she got to the end to go plant and come back, the defender ran into her thinking she's running a slant and just kind of went...
Choice of words.
Karate chop.
The defender was going in the same.
Karate chop.
And as she's come back, the defender's like, oh, like, you're coming back, but run straight into her. And watching it back on film, the ref that threw the flag is behind all of this. So in my opinion, it does look like she's just run her over.
You know how last week I was saying they need a 9s partial contact league? This is what I
There were some,
Even then, you can't just like run someone over. You can't.
Yes.
You can block, but you can't like. But as a receiver running a route, if it's a passing play, you can't block.
Yeah. But she wasn't blocking. She was running.
I'm addressing the 9 semi-contact, half contact stuff that Yassi's talking about. So, point being, that game finishes, we win by 1 touchdown. But it was back and forth. And then, blame tiredness, blame whatever. The other thing, we've had conversations about it before, but I'm not trying to show the playbook.
Yeah.
Just a funny moment in the game. Jack Reed has zero respect.
He's so funny.
He's
so dry.
Boxes, and this is our box, that's your box, walking across. So politely, he's come across into our half, which is, it's hard with flag because you've got to communicate the plays. You don't want your QB running basically a half the length of the field every time to get a play, to run back and then call it in. And so and it's fine. I think that there's a mutual respect piece where like one coach can kind of walk a bit onto, we both got in trouble for like walking onto the field, but him more than me. But there was one bit where he was stood and I could see the playbook and I couldn't hear, trying to listen, but I was like, oh, respectfully, like, Jack, if you do this one more time, I'm going to look at that playbook with you. He literally gives me the playbook and he's like, yeah, it's our playbook from, he said it's, he basically runs the same 4 plays all the time anyway, type deal was his comment. But to the point that everyone's watching. It's the final, it's being filmed and streamed and whatever. You're limited in what you can call, because you don't really want everyone to be able to like scout you, because flag is flag. It's not going to be so much more. So it will be interesting to see how much the styles of play or the plays change, when it comes to the big event. But yeah, it was a good event. It was a good event.
Yeah, and when we got there on the Sunday morning, I'm like, gosh, this person looks so familiar. And it was Tommy DeVito's agent, Sean Stellato, the Italian-looking dude.
Oh, actually,
literally looked like he was a WWE wrestler, like all kitted out in his like flag gear. And I was like, there's no way this is like a real situation. And I appreciate anybody that wants to try the sport. He went to pick up his shoes and his leg had to go out to go pick up his shoes. And I was like, you know what? I think we'll be all right. Playing for the Italian national team though, who are always so much fun to watch. I love watching Italy play. Like they're really good. We got to see Germany men play as well. Like they've come off of the back of camps in Mexico and Panama, and then to kind of see what they put on the field was super cool. And just kind of last shout out to Charlotte Townsend from Manchester Titans, kind of been through the youth program and now got a NAIA scholarship out in the States. So exciting times for the growth of the sport over here. And with that, we will be back in just a second. But we finally have the man behind the camera and the edits on this side. I mean, Blessing, you literally are flying to China today for Ningbo. Yeah. How excited are you to see our man Lincoln?
Well, first of all, if we're talking about Lincoln, then the excitement is through the roof.
I need heart bubbles around your head.
Yeah. I've been texting him for the last couple of weeks, and yeah, the excitement is definitely there. He told me to bring you guys, but I said they're too busy. But yeah, we definitely need to bring you guys out to China as well. You guys need to meet Lincoln because he's a
game changer.
He's the greatest.
Next year, Lincoln will be out there.
Sounds good to me.
What the flag?
Yeah, facts. But yeah, no, super excited. I'm grateful for the opportunity to go out there. Don't know what to expect at all, if I'm being honest. But I'm just like looking forward to creating content. The fact that my content has allowed me to travel to China twice is insane.
Flex. Flex. He said he didn't just say allow me to travel to China. He said twice.
Yeah.
Flex.
Honestly, because when we were, I think it was the last day of the competition at the World Games, and I was on the field thinking like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and like, yeah, to be going back months later.
10 months later.
Yeah, legit.
That's won't he do it more?
Yeah, honestly, like, just super grateful, and I'm excited. I'm ready.
So it was World Games last time. What are you going out for this time?
So this time I think Lincoln and the committee in Ningbo decided to put together almost like an international media team. So there's a few of us going. Yeah. So we've got Ernesto coming from Mexico and US. We have some US shooters. I think there's a couple European ones, and myself, and then there'll be some guys out there as well. Some people from Malaysia as well. So like there's going to be a group of us out there working with Ningbo to create content around the competition. I think Lincoln and Ningbo really want to put more of an international light on the competition and what they're doing out there. So they thought, let's bring the international shooters out. And yeah, I got the call up.
I saw it.
So yeah, it's
now I need a t-shirt.
Oh, well, you should. We gotta make it.
That's done.
Yeah, it's done. So yeah, super excited. Okay, I can't wait.
Okay, congratulations. We've got some of the Spanish girls are going out there. Yes. Do we know any from the UK going out?
Yes,
Are you literally the only one?
Blessing. I'm sure people will be.
Yeah. I've been getting messages, and people have been messaging like the podcast and saying that they're going to be out there and stuff.
Okay.
So cool.
It's going to be exciting to see. I'm going to be walking around with the What the Flag mic.
I was going to say, talk to our man.
Yeah. If you want to be featured.
Now's your chance, guys.
Yeah. So we'll be doing some content for What the Flag as well, which will be really fun. But yeah, it's exciting.
That'll be cool. And we would love to hear, like, as in if you're going out from Europe or, just to...
Around the world.
Yeah, want to reach out and tell us what your experience is like of it. That would be That'd be cool, bro. Yeah.
And make sure you find Blessing out there. If you see him, find him, snap him.
Yeah, tag us. We will repost that.
Repost
But
it.
no AI.
We'll send you some
Find
AI.
Blessing.
Find Blessing. Find them. I'm glad that you kind of brought up the bit about you, really your work getting you to where you are now. Like, I guess from your perspective, so you came into kind of the flag space. This is year 2.5, 3, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you started with us and the Chicago Bears. Where do you see like how this has grown from a media content kind of perspective from then to now?
I think, well, first of all, yeah, it's been a crazy, 2.5, 3 years. When I started filming with Phoebe, I had no idea what flag was. Like, absolutely no idea.
Still don't.
Actually,
I've seen him throw and catch, okay?
the throwing, but the catching,
catching.
in the words of Kenny, I do this. But no, it's been amazing to see the growth. I think there's so much amazing content out there being created, and even just to see how like new creators are coming into the space, bringing new ideas. I mean, me and Phoebe talk all the time on Instagram of like, this creator's done this creator's done this, or we should try this, or we should try that. Like going from when I first shot with the Chicago Bears like 2 years ago at the flag in Manchester, to now, like even just the ideas that we get to create, and we just get to have fun with it. I was talking to Rory from BAFA, and we were just talking about the excitement for the rest of the season.
Half Nigerian, Rory.
Yeah, half Nigerian. If you didn't know.
You didn't know that.
But now you know.
I know.
Yeah.
No. I still don't. Yeah, we have to talk more.
But yeah, like I think we're just in a space where we get to be more creative. Like we're making jokes the other day with Mark, Visuals by Och, and we're saying we even need our own playbooks now because we want to know what plays are being run so we can film better, we can shoot better. But yeah.
Well, Kenny can explain.
Do you know? So at least we know, okay, cool, they're about to do this, let's sort it out. But then we're like, maybe that will start to give away what is about to happen if we just go and stand
right.
where they're going to catch them.
You need to get like the little things you're talking to your wrist and get to the end zone.
But no, it's growing, and like, yeah, to see all the content, like, and even to meet so many content creators and to see the different content. I mean, being out in Ningbo a couple of weeks ago with you guys, got to meet Feli, and she is an amazing creator. Like, I love the work that she creates, and
she still ain't sent me all the files she said she was going to send me. So, yeah, Feli, like, listen.
And yeah, it's great. I think it's growing, and even to 2028, I think you're just going to see more and more content. It's exciting being able to highlight the sport and help grow the sport in our own ways. I think that's the best thing about it, for sure.
So I'm gonna a question, like maybe a challenging one, but you're here. So like, how do you stay innovative in what you're doing? How do you stay, or try to stay like ahead of the curve in what you're doing?
I think creativity, like staying ahead of the curve, almost this is my opinion, is almost impossible, because creativity is like you create from like what you believe in, where you come from, your culture, but at the same time it's what you see. So like sometimes I'll just be on Instagram and I'll see an idea, like a recent post I did where it was like black and white on one side, it was color on the other side, and like I saw that, I can't remember what college in America did their own version, and I was like, oh, I want to adapt that and make my own version. And then I got messages saying, oh, I want to try that with my team or with this. And I think like creativity, like I don't think you should be scared to see what other people are doing and adapt it and make it your own.
That is innovation. That's exactly what it is.
So I think the way that I kind of keep creative and keep going is just by just being on socials, seeing what people are doing, writing down ideas. If I see something I like, and I look at other sports a lot, like athletics. I look at athletics a lot because it's very fast paced. It's like there's a lot of running in it. You can almost adapt it to flag. So I've seen some stuff where I'll be like, that's a really cool edit. How can I make that like a flag football edit instead? But yeah, there's so much inspiration out there. My like socials aside is just cameras, flag football, and I'm paddle now. But
yeah, to put that in there.
but yeah, I think that's the way I would say I do.
I think one of the joys I have is when if you ever get Blessing talking about all his camera equipment and stuff, like he gets in the zone and it's just no idea what he's talking about. But it's getting the joy from his joy.
And I appreciate that you guys still listen.
Always here to listen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on your first ever true appearance of What the Flag.
Yeah, you heard your voice or your face, everything. Look
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Safe journey. Yes, enjoy.
Yeah,
and
enjoy.
I'm going to be giving you a couple of orders because there's something that I need you to bring back.
Don't worry, I got you. Just let me know.
Welcome back, everyone, to What the Flag. So earlier on this week, we posted and asked you all to give us some questions to ask on the podcast. And you guys, being the fabulous supporters that you are, you sent in quite a few, so we wanted to make some time to make sure that we could answer them for you. Now, I will start it off and just say there was a real big burning question that came straight in through the DMs, and it was from Copenhagen Bowl, and they said, where was Yaz?
Everyone wants to know where is Yaz.
Where was I? Well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to be back for that weekend. Originally, in my long-term life plans, I was only going to be back this week commencing middle of, where are we, May? June.
May. We're almost
End of May-ish. However, I came back in the middle of May, crazy work, then I just booked myself up. My bad. Next year, however, Copenhagen Bowl, you'll see me, I'll see you, we'll take pictures. All right? I got you. But in terms of questions, we had loads of people that commented, left some questions on our story, and I wanted to get cracking with them. So I think some of them are going to be quite juicy, to say the least. But the first one that came in was from the one and only Desiree Abrams. We finally got the official follow from her, and it feels like we've basically just had royalty.
It's about time. It's about time.
It is. But it's nice to know that you listen, so thanks. And she asked, what do you like about the way official IALs work your games, and what do you despise?
I think that's officials, but there's a space in there.
I got astigmatism. Can I read that again?
We're keeping that. We're keeping that
Official.
exactly as it is.
Official
No, that's what it says. What do you like about the way official IALs work your games? What do you despise? That's literally what it
I
says.
am not disputing, but I think she meant to write officials.
No, well, I'm just reading what I wrote. I blame you, Desiree. Now we have beef. So try again.
Oh, snap.
What do you like about the way official... No, that's
Okay, I'll
this
start
time. You get it,
answering that. I would say from a positive, I think you look at all these international competitions not at like the IFAF level, and there never even used to be a designated like white hat on the field who is a like true official. It used to be just flag teams that weren't playing. So now they're trying to integrate it. Copenhagen Bowl last weekend, they had 60 officials come in early for a clinic on the Friday. Like, that's huge. They're really trying to like grow and develop the sport. Alternatively, I would still say that there is not parity across the board. How one official calls it is different to another official, and you still are dealing with teams that don't know how to officiate. And if you know how to play, that's great, but that doesn't mean you know how to officiate. And I think actually the teams are the ones that need to probably have some of that training. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll say the good thing before I dive right in. No, I do agree with that. I think it was good to see. I think IFAF had a real, or the officiating crew for IFAF had a real hand in kind of working with the officials at the tournament. I think there was a piece where there was, if you call it assessment, going on of the officials that were there, but also development, training, a lot of feedback. I saw Jed, our Jed.
We love you, Jed.
Jed, official UK Jed, literally running around. The POV on the GoPro, following his officials around was
amazing.
I would love to see the footage from that, honestly.
He's starting to post.
So that was interesting. Some of the officials were mic'd up in certain parts of it. I saw one video of a ref that was mic'd up and kind of listening to like he was counting, and so that was cool. And I also, again, one more positive. I really personally enjoy it where it's officials who have played the game.
Yeah.
Because I think that gives a different viewpoint, a different level of understanding, especially politely, like play the game to a high level. Because you understand like some of the
Nuances.
flags that are called, some of the fouls that are given are, if you played, you'd understand why that shouldn't really be the case, or why that was totally unavoidable. It's just momentum carrying through, or two players go up for a ball, a good contest, and then you come down with like it's fair enough. So those are the things I like when in officials. The thing I absolutely detest.
Your microphone is still on, so
I
your
know,
voice goes so
no.
different.
But you might have to like dim the lights on this. I don't know what. You see when one official makes a call, like calls PI down the field. A bad call. Let's go. No one's perfect. I make bad calls. People make a bad call. And then the white hat does the one who should be responsible for all of it does the whole, it's not my job to look for that. I was looking at this. But I'm like, so if, for example, the white hat who stands behind the play, normally just in general terms, you're looking for watching the QB and the blitz interaction. But once that ball goes,
you have to be paying attention to the whole thing.
And you can see, so imagine it's a big ball downfield, whatever, blah, 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 whatever's happened. I wasn't looking for that. Or it's worse when like I have to go with what they say, even when clearly like they're not comfortable with the decision, or they've seen it differently, And I just think white hats or more experienced officials should have powers to veto or change a call that's made by an official, not just go with it because it's their job, that's what they're looking for, even if it's if you know it's a bad call, like just change it. Don't.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we need a phone a friend. We need a phone Des on that. But I do think that, and I'm not trying to speak for Des, but I do think that there's an element of you can kind of offer that, like, hey, are you sure this is going to be the right call?
Yeah.
Like, but you have to still give people the respect and autonomy to be able to make a call, because if you start to take away their powers, like, you leave them not confident. Yeah. Like we always say, you're better off throwing a flag than not throwing anything at all. And then you can wave it off.
But they don't wave it off. This is what I'm saying. So I'm not talking about the ones that are waved off or where. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones where clearly, and it's the VAR version of soccer, like of what I'm talking about. It's not, hey, sometimes they just got it wrong. It happened to us Team Spain in the bronze medal game against France, right? Receiver goes to catch the ball, but clearly, from our standpoint, bobbles it on the way falling out of the ground. Clearly, for us, right? The line judge, side judge, I don't know which one it was, on our sideline, gives a catch where the player's fallen like right in front of us. There's no way, and the white hat, in all fairness, I can't remember who it was now, runs over and immediately is like, no catch, like there's no way that and overruled the decision that was coming from the official who was closest to it, if that makes sense. And that's what I'm asking for. It's where you can clearly see that the white hat has the same viewpoint. It's just not comfortable. It's not.
But that's the second time you've dropped that word. You keep saying, are they comfortable? They're not comfortable. And I think that's the problem. That's part of it. I think there are so many officials in the game. Obviously, I only really know it from a tackle perspective, but I think there are a lot of officials in the game who maybe aren't comfortable yet or confident enough to be able to make those calls. And I think it depends on what refs you get, what officials you get, what white hat you get. And I also think it depends on how much training they've had access to. There are a lot of officials, not all of them, but there are a lot of officials who get their qualification and probably don't really do any training again until they actually need to. Yeah. And the benefit of having a sport like flag that has those clinics, like 60 officials in a almost like a coaching clinic prior to a game is huge. Brushing up on the skills, and it gives you that confidence and hopefully gives you that comfort to be able to make those calls a bit more correctly. But when you have officials that maybe just get their qualification, do it for maybe 70, 80 quid on a weekend, all of a sudden, I mean, maybe you don't have to be comfortable making those decisions. Maybe you don't have to have the confidence because you're kind of just there to
vibes. But
Do what you have to do.
The flip side of that is, what if now, as a coach, my funding for this year depended on my placement at Copenhagen Bowl, and those decisions are what end up potentially costing my team that place, that, you know, because now the games now are meaning more. The games now are more.
Well, there's more on the line.
A lot more.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more on the line. So, I'm sorry, that's not. There's less and less space for.
Agreed.
Kind of like, it's like learning on the job. Like, you can't have that at.
And I think that's where, as a sport or as a federation, you have to take responsibility of that, and you have to take ownership of that, and you need to realise sort of how serious that these placements could be, and that's why you need more access to these like clinics, these training like environments to make sure they're up to scratch. Because ultimately, I think refereeing is quite subjective, right? It's what your interpretation is. It's also about perspective as well. If you're on that line and someone else on this line, what you see is completely different to the view that someone else has. You just need someone that has enough sort of world view of the game and world experience. Like you said, the higher level you play, the better you'll be to really make those calls. And I think that's where you can start being picky, sort of, especially leading up to things like the Olympics. You need to start being picky, like how much training have you had, how much access to this game have you had, what level have you played at, you know, like who have you officiated with before, like what qualification have you got, how long have you been in it, and really start like weeding out the ones that maybe aren't strong enough.
So basically, you agree with me that the white hat should happen.
Oh yeah, I said I agree long time. I agree.
But I think it's like about body mechanics, it's about experience. There's so much more that goes into it, and I just think, you know, that's why every position has its own set of rules that they're looking for, their checklist of what they go through. You know, the line judge to the back judge, like all of them have different perspectives, and you know.
I know they have lots to do. I'm not negating that. It's just that white hats should not hide behind the line that I didn't see it, or they were closer, or like if you saw it and like
it'd be like a head teacher being like, oh sorry, I didn't see that kid behave badly. Like it's your school, it's your game. Like do what you gotta do.
So I feel a bit better.
One question.
One question for that whole segment. All right. Let's go with this is a good one. Okay. Which country in Europe has the most difficult flag football competition in their respective league for the title?
Who's this question from?
AK Ramjus.
Akram. Our dude. What do you think?
Personally, I'm looking for any nation that hasn't had the same or similar winners, like for many consecutive years.
Name them.
In a row. So, name them. It's tough. I don't know much about the French domestic league, so let me start with what I do know. For example, in the UK, from a men's standpoint, which I don't really, it's not too much my focus, but you have 2-3 top teams. If we name Cardiff Hurricanes, London Smoke, Glasgow
Hornets.
Thank you very much. I was going to say Tigers. That's a tackle. Who are kind of always there and thereabouts, top 2, top 3. And I think that the Hornets won it last, I want to say. Maybe. I don't know. It's really bad. I don't know. It gets confusing. But for the women's, it's been the Coventry Cougars for maybe...
They've won it 9 times or 10 times?
10 now out of the last 12 years. You know, which for me that points to I don't want to take anything away from the achievement, because to win it 10 times is not, you had to win it. You had to go out there and play and win. But that's not a competitive, there's not many teams that could kind of win it. So that's why I'm looking for nations where like any of maybe 3, 4 or 5 teams could be the ones to win. I have been doing a lot of work with the Turkish Federation. They have like a 16-team pro league, and it seems that like the level of competition out there is super high, or they're all kind of at that same level together, and it's some really good football.
Molossus tend to do, like the men's team and women's team. Molossus do well in France. I mean, there are a lot of really good teams Amsterdam. You got Utrecht. You've got the Panthers, like they're always, I mean, fun and
thereabouts.
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking of your own sort of respective like national teams that you're a part of, how much do you think the competitiveness of the domestic league translates into what we see at like international level when you guys are competing?
From a women's standpoint, I don't think it does, to be honest, because flag is so small-sided. You can have, if you can find 6, 7, 8 ballers, regardless of the level of everyone else, you can build a good competitive national program, I think. So it's not super dependent on, because it's the interesting thing, if basketball, if the Olympics was about like, hey, give us the top 5 American teams, top 5 Canadian teams, top 5 Nigerian teams, top 5 British teams, you would find those top 5 American teams, I believe, would be far higher than the combined, than the top 5 Canadian teams. Because when you start to have to go deeper, other nations' pools aren't as big. But that's not, I hope I'm making sense here, that's not as necessary in a small-sided game. So I don't think the level of competition necessarily has a bearing on the national program. I think you do have to have a good standard of play and a good standard of regular play to make sure those players are of a standard to compete.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. I think the biggest thing that most of these countries are missing would be the opportunity to play meaningful and competitive football on a regular basis.
Yes.
Flag or tackle, right? Like,
Absolutely.
I don't think it makes a difference. I think we just don't have enough of that, and that's why teams want to go to the States and they want to play in competitions there. It just, then you've got different rule sets, you've got different officiating styles, you've got the potential for injury in terms of some of the different formats and the actual like fields that you're playing on. So you're constantly weighing it up, and that's why it's interesting that there's that camp coming up in Austria, which is very unique because it's like Austria, there's Germany women's or Germany women's, Mexico, and then Great Britain men's. Not Great Britain women's, not Germany men's.
Interesting.
And it's...
But Mexico did it around, from my understanding of it or what I see of it, I think it was based on who they have to play in, or who is in that group.
But why would you not invite Great Britain women's then? To go to a camp? We've not had a camp with anybody.
But you're in Austria's side of things, no?
Yeah, so Mexico will probably play...
No, Mexico are in our side. If that
They
makes
play
sense.
Germany? Who they play?
Germany, Mexico.
Yeah,
would play
Mexico would play
Women's
Germany.
would play Germany.
And the women's
I
are
don't
out
think
there.
men's would play.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you go either way.
But also it depends on like federations give different levels of power to different coaches.
Yeah.
You know, so if, as a coach of the men's team, I'm like, I don't want to face their men's team. You find a way around it. And
Yeah.
So circling back, sorry, you mentioned, everyone gets better with meaningful competition. I absolutely agree. I think there are instances in the sport in general, both tackle and flag, where there maybe aren't enough opportunities to develop. From both of your standpoints, where would we go now? If you're thinking respectively about the team that you coach or the team that you're a part of, how does your team get more competitive in this country or in your respective home team's country? How do they get better here? Because obviously it's always an option for you to be able to train with other teams and go to other camps, and that's amazing that you have those opportunities, but obviously they're few and far between, as we've just mentioned. So how do you get better internally without always just constantly playing yourselves?
I think it's a really good question because I don't really know how you do that without just hoping that the rest of the levels up ultimately, right? You want to be raising the floor to a standard that the Cougars aren't winning 10 times. The Smoke, the Hurricanes, like Hornets, they kind of alternate between them, but like that's great because you've got multiple, you're going to have like hard, tough games. You think about flag in this country, and I don't know if it's the same for Spain, but like you might play 2 hard games, 3 hard games max.
Women's flag.
Women's throughout a season. Like, let's do that more often because that iron sharpens iron mentality would be the same for you. You go and play in the States, and you come back, and if you were playing tackle when you must be like, wow, this is like, I'm having a slow down here, like take a step
Massively.
back.
It was one of the swaying factors in as to whether I would come back and play UK ball or not. Not for any reason. Like I enjoy playing. It's just when you're exposed to a certain standard, you want to stay at that standard or get better.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult sometimes to give the same level of commitment to something that isn't necessarily growing or developing.
Yeah.
And it's hard because then it's not fair at that point for you to stay committed. Like there are people that could benefit from being in that position that will get better. And if you're taking reps away from them and you're not going anywhere, then it's kind of like, what's the point? So you just have to go abroad or go to other places and seek it. It's just, you're correct. Like, how do we raise that floor?
But it's not rocket science. It just takes time, and it's by developing the coaches.
Yeah.
So making sure that when the coaches have touch points with players, what the players are being taught, what they're learning is of a higher standard, a higher quality. They're not being allowed to just the number of, and it's a bugbear of mine. 95% of flag teams. Please at me if I'm wrong. You go to practice and it's like people will warm up, do indies, which is just run around, catch a ball, run some routes, and then they play a scrimmage because people are there to play, but there's no real development, no real thought given to how are we going to improve the players? How are we going to teach the players how this game works? And teaching the game has to be more than just like, oh, this is a slant route, this is a post, this is a, right? I being honest, I had a conversation with some coaches yesterday evening where some of the football, as Copenhagen, great competition, it's teams from everywhere. But some of the football is so bad, so bad. And it's not bad because it's of the athletes, it's bad because of the lack of
Adjustments.
strategy. There's one team, and I won't name names because it's not fair. We scored a number of touchdowns on them. And when you score a touchdown, you get your extra point.
Yeah.
We ran the same extra point 6 times in a row.
If it ain't broke.
But on the 7th one, I was like, oh, like, I have to call something different here because it almost feels like we're just like whooping on them, like we're just, you know? And then on the 8th one, I was like, wait, why am I changing my plays? Because I don't want them to feel bad because we ran the same play 6 times and you didn't change anything, right? On the 8th time, they did change the defense, and I was literally
You did a little flex where it's like the 8th time, the 8th extra point we went for.
But it's interesting how many of how much you've said links back to things we've spoken about before. You know, you speak about development of coaches, but then that ultimately comes down to funding. Like a lot of people are, it can and it can't. So my argument for it is that a lot of coaches, not all, but a lot of coaches have their own separate careers, like in something completely different, and football is on the side. So when it comes to developing yourself, maybe there isn't the time, maybe there isn't the accessibility, maybe there isn't the opportunities to. I'll come back to you, don't worry. And then you said about the level of competition at competitions. And again, it's great that everyone has access to these competitions, but then how do you start to sort of like separate and almost like create something divisional? Because is it beneficial for a team like Spain to play a team that they're running something on 8 times and it's taken you eight attempts to adjust something to it? Is that beneficial? And it's great for exposure. It's great for the team that gets to play you because you're only going to get better by playing better. But how does that develop your players that are already at the top?
So again, just to be clear, so Copenhagen Bowl and a lot of the tournaments do it now. There are different kind of
tiers.
Levels, not so much in women's because I don't think there were 2 women's groups. So, but in the mixed men's, it is like competitive, elite,
leisure,
or the leisure.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different groups, and then they also had a co-ed section as well. So that option is there if you have a big enough, pool of teams. But I put my hand up because everyone knows the computer game Madden, right? There are some people out there who put on Madden, choose a team, and then just play. There are other people that will go through the kind of training modes, learning how to do the different moves, learning how to do the different, what you're looking for, what the different reads are. And that's my issue is, because you kind of said there, like, sometimes the developing coaches cost money. It doesn't. But you have to have coaches who are willing to look at the game as more than just, it's just a chance for us to play.
Disclaimer, when I say it costs money, I don't mean the actual act of being trained. It can sometimes be like the access to it. So like having to go to an area, stay in an area, etc.
But I think
all
break it down,
online, like,
yeah,
it's
or
not-
just call someone.
But
Like
this
call
is
and
the
talk
thing,
to Kenny, or
I agree, absolutely.
Don't
But
call
how
Kenny,
many
no.
people are actually resourceful with the time they have for?
but
for
that speaks more to a
football?
mindset for me,
Absolutely.
and I think
Agreed.
that comes back to like something that we've all talked about before, like. People are going to have to invest time and energy and sacrifice if you want to get to that next level.
I don't think it's money. Sorry to
No,
jump in.
I know what I'm
don't
saying.
think it's a money
Time
thing.
and-
Time and energy. Yeah. So we're saying that, like, sorry to cut you up, but it's just you have to want to do it, and you have to put in that time. It's not gonna come like magic, and it doesn't. It's not just about drawing the best plays and then they'll work. You have to invest the time in the players, the conversations you're having. How are they living? How do they understand the game? So many people don't understand the game. I literally, I think I said it to you. It hurts my head. Like I get almost nauseous watching people trying to work. Like, why can't they get it together? Like, just it's not that hard, in my opinion. But
But then that's blanket as well, because we spoke about, how do we raise the floor? Well, that's the time, isn't it? It's the sacrifice, it's the time, it's the investment in yourself as a player and as a coach, in order to raise that floor. Like, at some point, we can't do it for you. Like, if we're at the top, we can't just drag you up all the time. You have to be able to also grow yourself. You are grass.
Yes.
Well, but I'm sorry. I'm also so last thing. I'm also challenging the because there's a lot of teams out there that don't have coaches.
No.
Right, but I'm challenging the players then in that regard. Like, be your own self-starter. Like, be your own growth developer, whatever you want to call it. Be your own coach.
So motivational. Be your own
100%.
growth developer, guys.
Yeah.
And come to the coaching convention this summer, July 11th in the UK for your Flag Coaches Association. We are going to wrap it up there because we've done all of 2 questions. So we will have to come back to this for more.
Stop asking such good questions, guys.
I know. These are whole episodes. So thank you guys for sending in. We will get to all of them next week. And for now, thank you all so much for joining us on What the Flag. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell.